Welcome back to Gemstone Podcast. This is LP. I got Chy and Zack with me today. Before we get started, please make sure you go like, share, and follow our podcast. We're on our Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify Anchor, and Pandora Podcasts. Also, if you want to send us fan mail or send us questions, please email us at gemstonepodcast@gmail.com. That is gemstonepodcast@gmail.com. All right, Zack. What's up with it, boy?
What up, y'all? What up, y'all? It's good to be back with the crew. Good to be back with the family of Gemstones. Man, I'm coming to y'all with a topic today that's been touching my heart a little bit, you know. First and foremost, let's go ahead and wish no ill on anybody. Wish no ill on no death to anybody. Before we get into the topic, I will say, rest in peace to Charlie Kirk, because, he is still a person, a human, and I'm not the type of person that's going to cheer for anybody's death or anything like that, because that's not who I am. That's not who I was raised to be. But the topic I do want to talk about is about him. And what I want to say about it is more so about his community that follows him and how their need for retaliation is a misfortunate thing for African Americans, Black folks, and minorities. How their need for retaliation whenever his death happened was the closure of multiple historical Black colleges and death threats and retaliation threats to saying that we're going to affect your schools and your people, and hit home to me that you want to harm people that had nothing to do with the situation. It wasn't a Black man that killed Charlie Kirk. It was a white man, a young white man from the right side. But yet, since we your enemy, since you feel like we are your long-term enemy, we're the easiest to interrogate, antagonize, and take your anger out on, because you can't look in the mirror and realize this. You're the problem for some of these things. And it's crazy because I don't want to get extremely political, but the right has won everything. Everything that the right has wanted in the past 9 months, you have gotten. We have not been, the left, whoever wanted to stop you, haven't been able to stop you. You have gotten everything you wanted, but y'all are still angry. And you still want to take our anger on us as a community of Black people when we ain't had nothing to do with it. We sitting back watching. This whole 9 months, we just been sitting back watching. But for some reason, we still getting up in the center of it. Now we got a brother that's been hung in Mississippi at a school campus. And I guess without getting too speculations or whatnot, but I'm gonna tell you this though, people. Black men don't hang ourselves in no tree. We might do a lot of things, but we ain't gonna hang ourselves in no tree. And it's fishy that we call that, oh, it's a suicide, okay? All this retaliation calls, it's suicide now. I don't know, man. It just, how do y'all feel about the things that's been going on lately? Like as a group, as our Gemstones members, how do y'all feel with the situation going on? I know we can't speak out too much because they on your head if you say out too much, but how do y'all feel with the things going on and people getting nursed from TV shows for speaking out against other people, radio shows, fired, like, how do y'all feel about this stuff going on right now in the world, or in America, not the world?
I didn't know that someone had that man, hold on. Let me get my words together. Okay. I didn't know that a Black or African American man was hung from a tree in Mississippi. When was this?
Delta University. Is it Delta University? Let me double check that. It's Delta University. I'm pretty positive it's Delta University.
How long ago was this?
Last week.
What?
This is actually the third one, actually,
What?
because there was another Black man. I think it was in Alabama or Mississippi somewhere. He's a truck driver, and then now this one, and then there's another student as well that was killed. So that's about three.
So those southern states that were, slavery was last ended, they cranking back up with their behaviors.
I don't know how to answer that to you, brother, to be honest with you. I mean, you from the we from the South.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to call Texas the South. We from the South.
Texas is the South. What? This is South.
They like to call us some Southwest. I would say, being from the South, we seen this all our lives. Me being from the country, I've definitely seen this all our lives. So I ain't never gonna say the South is dead. It's still alive and well.
Yeah, it's in Texas. If you turn left or go the wrong spot, they will tell you, no, out here, we don't like your kind. Then if I were you, I would get out of here before the sun drops, sun sets. That's what they normally say. If I'm not mistaken, what the man said, he said, if I were you,
park sun downtown.
If I were you, park
near Wells, Texas, I've seen a lot of them. And, people always try. I had a homegirl, Lance, you remember, when we was in WTC, she came from Hyco, and she tried to say Hyco. She tried to say Hyco wasn't racist. I say, The hell you mean? They had a whole cafe named the Coffee Cup Cafe, all K's.
Yep. Remember, I told a story about it. I wanted to say,
and you know, they like, hey, everybody stick together. Don't nobody not be with each other. Go in there, get your snacks, get your stuff, and come on back. You know what I mean? So it's like, we didn't see sundown town. So I ain't gonna say that part is dead. It's alive and well. And I guess you can say it's cranking back up. I mean, sadly.
I was gonna say it ain't never stopped because when I stayed in Spanish Fort, Alabama, I ain't gonna use my country voice. I stayed in Spanish Fort, Alabama for about 6 weeks. Back in 2021. And it was a culture shock to me because me being from Texas, I get what they're saying about Texas. Texas is the South, but we're like South adjacent. Like we don't practice the energy here is different from Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, outside of Atlanta, South Carolina. The energy here is a lot different even though people don't see the same energy because they're not going to the rural areas. I live by a sundown town, Alvin, Texas. People don't know Alvin, Texas was a sundown town. So they don't get the energy here because they're not in the more rural areas. And a lot of these metro cities in Texas, white people kind of control themselves. Some of them get a little out of pocket, but for the most part, they kind of control themselves. And then we also have a lot of northerners and a lot of people from the West Coast that has moved to our metro cities like Houston, Austin, Dallas. So they're changing the weather here as well. But let me just say this, me spending in that much time in Spanish Fort. So I was in Spanish Fort, Alabama, but I would drive to Mobile every day to eat or go to the store because Spanish Fort was a beautiful area. They had palm trees. It was, because it's really close to Florida. So it was a really beautiful area, but them people were so racist. And in Alabama, I either seen black, white, or mixed. The whole time I was there, I could count on my hand. I saw 5 Hispanic people. The whole time I was there, I could count on my hand. I saw 3 Asian people. The rest of us was black and white. And the black people out there know their place. The black people, I'ma even say Louisiana black people is more liberated than the black people in Alabama, Mississippi, and northern Florida and Georgia, and South Carolina. I experienced the same thing in South Carolina. It's like black people in those areas are just different. Like they know their place. They put their head down when master walk in the room. I've seen it with my own eyes. And me coming from a Democrat city for the most part, and even growing up in Beaumont around a lot of black people, I had never experienced that kind of behavior till I was out there for that period of time. So I wouldn't go anywhere in Spanish Fort. They had places called Jubilee with the Asian mama, big black lady on the picture. They had, just all kind of racial undertones like that's still prevalent. And I remember I went to Foley, Alabama, to the outlet mall. Foley, Alabama got the same outlet mall we got out here in Houston, Tanger. So I went out there to the outlet mall just a little dilly dally for the day. And when I got out there, I'm shopping and stuff, And at that time, baby, I had a extensive bank account. So I'm out there dilly dally and shopping and stuff. And this hit the energy. So I go in this store. Mind you, they had the same store we got out here, which is a cosmetic company outlet store. Ladies, if you never heard of it, go to a cosmetic company outlet store. They got like 75% off of beauty products and things like that. So I'm up in there, and this white woman come up to me, white lady, and say, "Oh my gosh, aren't you the cutest little thing? You remind me of my granddaughter. You got the same kind of hair. She's biracial as well." This white woman told me this in the store. She told me this in the store. Don't know her, nothing. She just came up and said, "You're just the cutest." And it was giving, "You the cutest little I didn't seen all day." Like, it was giving. But anyways, so yeah, it's definitely a difference. I'm happy to be from Texas. I wouldn't want to be from no other southern state but Texas because no.
Well, this is my take on it, though, Zach. I mean, I had to ask that question just to get some clarification because I didn't know that took place. But just to add some content to the conversation, because we're having this round table. I got a different perspective, being that I've worked with several different Black esteemed professionals from like South Carolina, North Carolina, some from Arkansas, some from Mississippi, some from Georgia, some from rural areas in Texas, like Hawkins, like Hillsboro, Brownsville, and then even some individuals way down south, like from Tennessee, I've worked with. I've heard a lot of different stories about, the racial undertone that's in the South. And honestly, Shy said it never stopped. I mean, and Shy, it's crazy that when you talked about, South Carolina, North Carolina, because when I met a vice president at a higher education institution, she's black and she's from I believe South Carolina, one of them, North Carolina, South Carolina. She's gonna be a guest on the podcast soon too. But she told me that because she was in East, she was like, I ain't never seen nothing like this. Like it's like a slave mentality around here. Like the black people around here don't want to do better. And so I just think it comes with a mindset. Like different individuals have to have a progressive mindset. And I think you have the one who, like you say, who put their head down. That's anywhere because they're afraid of the backlash. Hearing that a black person or got hung from a tree and talking about suicide. Zach, I'm with you. There is nobody of our ethnicity, this is just my opinion, I'm going to preface it with that, that's going to get a rope tied around a tree and hang themselves. And the reason why I say we wouldn't, because of the history that's associated with deaths like that. It'd be different if somebody jumped off a balcony or hung themselves from a building, but to specifically say a tree, it's too much. It's too much racial undertone history associated with deaths like that in this country. So I highly disagree with that being a suicide. And whoever classified that as a suicide needs to be investigated extensively. But it's never left. And unfortunately, as time has progressed, it's becoming more comfortable to be that way, if that makes sense. Individuals who are prejudiced they can be more comfortable in that state. Now in the South, it ain't never left. But even on the West, I see it. I mean, 10 years ago when I was on the West, it wasn't as prevalent. But now, no, they open with it. It's as if as time has progressed, not liking another ethnicity is cool. And I hate to say it, Black people are the number one target. Then it goes to Hispanic. Then it goes to whoever. And one of my biggest issues that I have is when Hispanics don't want to like Black people. Because to me, that's almost oxymoronic. We're in the same boat. How dare you not like Black folk? And vice versa. Black folk, how dare you not like Hispanics? You're literally in the same fight. And all you're doing is pulling each other deeper into a hole that's already deep. You don't have the same opportunities. You don't have the same access. And as we can see, we have an administration that's the access that you do have, you're getting cut off at the knees. And then now they're going to make new ramifications and new requirements to maintain that access that I'm pretty sure a lot of people ain't going to be able to maintain. We've said this on our podcast plenty of times. Maybe they'll get it, but not today. But at some point, people going to have to get it. This country was founded off of prejudice. Think of how America was birthed. Somebody got on a boat, came over here from Britain, established British colonies. Then within those colonies, they fought amongst each other and then said, we're going to be Americans. Then they broke from the British colony. Then they started to travel the land and say, this is ours, from people who are already here. Now, how can you get on a boat, come over here, land? One, America ain't even a thing at that point in time. It's the British colonies. Then a group of people just decide, you know what? We sick of them. We don't want to do what they say no more. We're going to rebel. And they did. And then they won. Then they start to travel and say, well, all of this is ours. It don't make sense. Kick people off the land they was born on before you even was thought of from lineage, kill them. Then they come over here with advanced weaponry. They got guns and powder. You fighting people with spears and shanks. Now you got natives, Americans, black, white magic. They have magic. They ain't know that's advanced military warfare. It's the same, but it's the same thing now. All it is that demonic spirit that this country was birthed on, it's not dead. It's just still here. It's never gonna die, most likely, because that's what it was. That's how this country was birthed, off of hate and greed. So therefore, anytime another ethnicity shows advancement, guess what they have to do? Go back to their origin. Go back to when Obama was in office. How many times did we see law enforcement just randomly black people getting shot, getting murdered, and then on top of that, even what was the Trayvon Martin situation? That was a Trayvon Martin situation, right? Where the man just shot the young man just because he looked right.
Yeah, that was George Zimmerman.
Right. We had that was Obama's in office, right?
Yeah.
I think it was though. Hey, was
Yeah,
that
'cause
long
Obama
ago?
had 2 terms, 08
Yeah.
to
Okay.
16, and that was in 12.
We had a lot of a lot of things going on at that period of time surrounding black people and safety, right? Why? Because we had a black man leading the country. They had to rebel. Now we got this man in office who is I laugh every time I think about it.
Senior citizen.
Who y'all voted in, and he is doing whatever he wants. He
Senior
just
citizen.
look, he just wake up and say, "I'm gonna change it," and he do it. But that's what y'all voted in. Right? Y'all ignorant, but they comfortable because they feel like they support it. Remember, in his first term being president, he talked about the Proud Boys. Remember, he said that he was in the debate with Proud Boys is a white supremacy organization. I want people to understand that the president y'all have in office mentioned a white supremacy organization. And most of these organizations have unspoken lineage to finances and power. Hate to say it that way, but it's the truth. So you got to be careful. I ain't gonna say be careful, but I just feel like it was a reason why they got rid of the Panthers, because the Panthers was starting to catch up to finances and power.
They still here.
Yeah, but they ain't as loud as you know what I'm saying, Shay? That they was loud back then. They got they got to move a certain way now, just because of how things took place, infiltration and the FBI being involved and blah 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 blah. But I really wish we had more outspoken organizations like that again. Just because maybe that's what the underserved population needs. Maybe they need an organization to represent them.
I would tell you no, Lance. I don't think we need an outspoken. I think we need an organization like the other people have, that's behind the shadows, behind the curtain, but still powerful. Mm-hmm. So like we don't need to always be loud and outspoken like they always think we are. I think we need to start moving a little bit more strategically, and not doing ill or anything wrong, but just being able to control and take care of ourselves strategically in the shadows instead of being so outspoken and loud. But one thing I was about to say that Charlie Kirk did say, I didn't like how he said it because he did say it in a racial way. But when he said that African American and black folks had it better in the 1940s and segregation than they have now, or how he said it, it was racial, like, oh, like trying to say we was better off when we was separated, enslaved, and treated as three-fifths of men. But if you think about it, in the 1940s and all that stuff, and in the late 19s, that was our Black Wall Streets. Those are our booming economies that got burned, blown up, raped, flooded, built the lake over, built the community over. When we were thriving was back then, when we were separate but equal, they say, I guess.
Zach,
yeah, I don't agree with that.
but was one thing I want to say though, Zach, is that I was thinking of when you were talking about that. We have all these HBCUs, and HBCUs they ain't doing right. I'm gonna keep it a book. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna say all of them doing wrong, but majority of them ain't doing right. They misappropriating their money. They ain't spending it right. They burning out their staff. They talk crazy to their staff sometimes. I mean, you got some presidents who I ain't gonna mention it, but it just ain't right. If we change our integrity, our morals and our ethics and our values, because those institutions are supposed to be it's a historical black college. It's for black and brown people. It's for anybody, but it was originally created for black and brown people. If we gain some more integrity back into those systems, start to do things in a more professional, optimize operations, optimize effectiveness, I believe we can start to turn the tide on some things, because that's where it starts. You have to think of these other major institutions that are considered PWIs and how they have so much influence in their counties and in their states and in their region. It's some cities that's considered a college city or a college state because of that institution is such a martyr and has such a beacon and is such a pillar of so many decisions surrounding legislation, surround budgeting, surround healthcare, surrounding even politics. But we can't have a seat at the table when it comes to that because our institutions are not being ran effectively. If we start trying to mobilize in that aspect and start there, and then we can have those behind the scene organizations provide support to organizations such as that. I think that'd be great. That's just my opinion. Then we can have historical Black health science centers, historical Black school of medicines, historical Black school of pharmacy and educations.
We got that.
Yeah, we get, but they're not effective. We have them, but they're not effective. I'm being honest with you. No, they're not. We have some. Some are doing great. Some. That's a very small. When I'm saying some, I'm talking about maybe 5% out of 100 that are great, right? But that's too small. If we transcend the conversation to PWI School of Medicine and Health Science Centers, they have a demographic of 75% in the margins of providing roles in healthcare, contribution to pharmaceutical research. Where are we at in that conversation?
They also got 100+ years up on us.
And they get more money.
Keep that in mind. And the reason why you hear negative things about Black universities and colleges because they put that information out there. The things that go on in PWIs, they don't broadcast that like they do HBCUs.
I'm telling you, that's wrong. I'm telling you, it's wrong. And I'm telling you, I have a coworker who wrote a whole dissertation on it. They have tiers of research.
Okay, tiers of research is facts is a fact. Black colleges are promoted negatively.
I'm telling you, Chy.
That's how it's always been.
I'm telling you, no, they have tiers of research when it comes to funding. In Black historical colleges, most of them are not applying for it. You know why? Because they are misappropriating their funds. They can't even afford.
And white colleges doing the same thing. People just not talking about it.
But they applying for the money and they're getting it.
Yeah, and they're getting the money because they're white.
No,
they're getting the money because it's racist. They're getting the money because they're a PWI. They're getting the money because of the population of white students. It has nothing to do with the HBCU. They're going to get it anyways. It don't matter if all HBCUs in America be on the straight and narrow. We are still going to be looked at a certain way. We are still not going to have the same opportunities. That is the country we live in.
Shine. If I don't have the money to do the application, how can I even get the funding?
You just
if
said
I don't have the money to.
Go ahead, Shaw. I was saying I think he said a mouthful right there, but go ahead.
We guess what? And they don't have the money because of what reason?
Because they misappropriate their funds. You have presidents that are making $500,000 a year at some of these HBCUs, and the presidents at PWIs don't even make that.
I don't know about that one.
No, that's a fact. Look it up. I'm telling you.
So we saying that PWIs aren't making more than HBCUs, or are we saying HBCUs presidents are making more?
I'm saying
when literally majority of HBCUs are adjacent.
They are misappropriating the funds. I'm telling you, at some of these.
When literally most of the HBCUs are adjacent to PWIs. Most of our HBCUs were created off of the, created from being adjacent to a PWI.
PV, A&M.
Like most of Bethune-Cookman.
And guess what? The president who stepped down from the PV, she was a scholar. She was esteemed. You know why she stepped down? Because internal conflict with misappropriation of funds at PV. And she tried to highlight it. And guess who? And guess who threw her under the bus? Other Black professionals at PV.
White people do that shit all the time. There's no difference. I mean, I just don't think there is nothing. Yes, we have organizations. I've actually joined a Black organization that is like a Black Panther Party. We have organizations. We have things in place for us. Regardless if we was to straighten out this and straighten out that is a small percentage of it. It's not about us. Regardless of what we do, regardless of what we achieve, we are still going to be looked at a certain way. Where Charlie Kirk's point of view is still going to be prevalent because a majority of white Americans feel the same way he do. So it doesn't matter if we clean up our schools or whatever. PWIs misappropriate funds. They out there. The professors are date raping the students. The students are date raping each other. You have murders on campus. A lot of things are being constantly covered up because they do not want to put that out in the light. You hear about that from HBCUs because, for one, HBCUs are smaller. Most HBCUs, 95% are smaller than PWI. 95% are smaller than PWI. So of course you have a smaller college. Most HBCUs are either in an urban area or a rural area. So that's why you're going to constantly hear about the negativity that comes from HBCUs. But these PWIs, all of the stuff they do is getting pushed under the rug because of whiteness. That's the only reason why. It don't matter what we do. That part right there, it doesn't matter. Like we've excelled beyond their expectations, still not good enough. They will never be satisfied. We can clean up this and clean up that. It's nothing we can do to satisfy their opinion. That whole thinking has to be dismantled. It is gonna take a couple more generations. A couple of more of them gotta die off before the world start to change. And that's just what it is. Now, so y'all said, so you said about how, they, like about how a lot of, there's a lot of race people going to California, right? So I thought about that because we're seeing a great migration right now. Just like a lot of Southerners are moving either west or north. One reason being the pay. You're making, so I have a family member that moved to the DMV area. He went from making this much money to doubling his salary in the DMV for the same kind of job. I have another friend that moved to the DMV as well. So you have even including yourself. You came from the South, you moved to California. We are seeing a great migration of Southerners moving west and east because of opportunity. This is history repeating itself. This has happened in American history so many times. After the Civil War, the South was destroyed. White Southerners, the ancestors of these right-wing people, they moved west because they heard they had gold and oil and opportunities and jobs. They moved east because you had mining companies being built, automotive companies being built. There was work there. We're seeing the same thing happen right now. Then you had the Jim Crow as well. They took their same racist ideologies and took them south. That's why you see that neighborhoods like Compton used to be an all-white neighborhood. Compton was all white up until maybe the 1950s, maybe, or 40s. Maybe probably the 50s. It used to be an all-white neighborhood. And Black people literally were treated terrible in Compton. And most of the people that settled in Compton, California, was from the South. They came during the Great Depression and Jim Crow and all that. They migrated to the South. So that's why we're seeing that, it's this history repeating itself. The thing that y'all said was Trump. I was gonna say about that Trump situation. Like I always say, Trump is descendants of immigrants. His family are German, and Trump. I've always said Trump does not care about anything but the color green, and he realized that these good old boys and these right wing people are ignorant. They're easy to be persuaded. All you have to do is talk their language, and you can get their money, you can get their resources, you can get their protection, you can get anything from them if you talk their language. And I think once he realized that and realized like that he can literally get out of debt by being a president, he literally become immune to him having to stand up for his crimes he's done against women. Now we see why he went to that base, because he used to hang out with Black people. He used to be in the club with Diddy and them. But okay, I'm gonna mute.
Okay, back on this with the HBCUs, and then I'll let Zach touch on. You talked about how the same thing happened at these PWIs, but they don't get it put out. Well, this is why I keep going back to misappropriation of funds. Guess what they have in their budget? It's called problem-solving funds. Guess what HBCUs have in their budget? Problem-solving funds. But guess what they normally do with their problem-solving funds? Steal them. Somebody take it. Somebody put it somewhere else where it ain't supposed to go. So they don't have the finances to pay the media to not air the dirty laundry. And I'm telling you this because I've been at the table. I ain't gonna say nobody.
Well, should they have to pay the media? We should have to do all that.
I ain't gonna say nobody's name, but I know various individuals. I just said I know a vice president at HBCU. I know other vice presidents at PWIs, and I'm telling you, things go on.
We shouldn't have to pay nobody to put that.
But that's the way of business. It's called problem solving funds. We all have a budget for it. Every organization has a budget for it's called problem solving funds. When you have problems, these are the funds that you use to solve.
I got a budget for when I crash out one day.
I'm
yeah, and I currently work. I currently work at a PWI right now, and have a president. We got a director of each department, and yeah, we have things in place as well. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm on the Black people side. I'm on the Black people side.
They have problem solving funds. So the reason why I mentioned the boost and that it needs to be more profound, where we have more esteemed leadership, we have more effectiveness when it comes to that, is because they can start having decisions. I'm gonna keep saying this, on a local level when it comes to county decisions. A lot of times these institutions have a lot of influence when it comes to legislation. I'm not saying that a HBCU is going to just go to the governor office and start writing legislation. But what I am saying, when it comes to certain things being approved, just like this rezoning that's happening in the state of Texas. If a lot of HBCUs in Texas, I want people to understand that it's a lot. But if we have more esteem,
No, it's not.
It's not, and you
it's only a handful actually. Other states got more
there-
HBCUs than we do.
Who?
There's a couple of other states that got more HBCUs than we do. We only have
Texas had the
like
most.
4 HBCUs.
I didn't know. I didn't say Texas had the most. I said Texas has a lot. Then they do
No, we
have.
don't.
I ain't gonna name them off to you, but they do.
We only have like 4 or 5 actually, and one of them not even considered HBCU no more.
Which one's not considered HBCU no more?
The University of Texas at El Paso was established as an HBCU, but the student population
It's mostly Hispanic.
Yeah, it's mostly Hispanic, but it used to be upper
funds from.
We only got 3. Technically we only got 2 major ones. The other 2
Matter.
are so low in student body and other things. The only 2 major ones
You know
we
why?
have
You know why? Because
it's Texas Southern and
funds, like I keep saying,
because the white man
TV, Texas
Southern
has great leadership. They have good presidents and good leadership. That's I keep saying.
Yeah, but we can't compare apples to oranges. We can't compare historically black colleges
we can't
lives that's been open since 1775. We can't compare the 2. We can't compare Florida State University to FAMU. They got 100 years on us.
You sound like you're making excuses. I'm gonna be real.
They got 100 years on us. We got 100 more years to catch up.
Sound like you're making excuses, just like with the whole Section 8 thing. Sound like we're making excuses.
There ain't no excuses. It's just that It's just that some of the quote I've seen that a lot of black men, y'all get your ideologies from rich white men. Rich white men talk like this. Black men that understand, that truly understand the ploys of poor black people, they don't talk like this.
I don't want to talk to a rich white man. I don't know a rich white man.
It don't matter. You talk to them, y'all listen to them, y'all get a lot of y'all ideologies from
white man. I don't listen to no damn rich white man.
This is the way your opinion on Section 8, it sounded like white rich Southerner.
And I just named and said the vice president I speak to are black. They are esteemed roles. They black. They none of them white. And I'm telling you from a perspective.
But I could further explain what it means. But I ain't gonna do it today.
It don't matter if you explain. I'm still gonna disagree. Like I said, Southern and PD have good leadership. That's why they're at the position in which they are. And also, what you don't know about PV, Texas A&M does they damnness to hold PV back from progression. Because plenty of times when it comes to some of the education programs at PV, they have surpassed A&M.
Who don't know that? Who don't know that? Prairie View used to be a plantation. A&M did not allow the black children to go to A&M. So a white plantation owner sold her. Well, she had no choice. She
already know about that.
I mean, what do you mean? Of course we know that. Of course we know that. We know that they're being oppressed. Like we're being oppressed. That's why it's like this right now. It's oppression.
Let me talk to our listeners, because maybe they got some. They can understand what I'm saying, because they can hear. If we have HBCUs have a more prevalent position in the community, like I'm saying, and they don't misappropriate funds, like I'm saying, like the problem-solving fund budget, and also like the STEM, which is science, technology, and education and mathematics, engineering and mathematics programs, if they don't start misappropriating those funds, because that's considered their health science center funds, and then they can start developing health science centers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They can have more decisions at the table in these communities. Like I've been trying to tell you, these PWIs, some, I ain't gonna say names, but they have esteemed decision-making in legislation, county law, and also where funds go. I done said it. Even in the last segment, I told you when we were talking about.
But the point is, it don't matter. HBCUs are still not going to, because they're black. It does not matter.
Oh God.
We're not going to. The people that's in charge and running these states, legislature, that's not going to happen. It does not matter if HBCUs get in the community, which all HBCUs are mostly urban communities. They're involved in communities. They're involved in community research and community uplift. They have homeless shelters. I know Texas Southern do. I know FAMU does. I know Bethune-Cookman does. I know Clark Atlanta does.
Man, don't
It's
mention nothing
plenty
about
that do,
Bethune-Cookman.
but it's like it don't matter. I think that's the point you're missing. Like, this conversation sounds just like Trump saying, pull them up by your bootstraps. It don't matter if you pull your bootstraps up. Your bootstraps still gonna get knocked down because you're black.
You're not
The
listening.
only thing we can do is
You're not listening.
live and try to uplift each other. But everything else is not the same for us. Don't matter what you do, no matter who you know, no matter how you get in contact with, it's not.
I got a question though. I really got a question. What happened when Deion Sanders went to Jackson State? Tell me. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Gemstone Podcast. We're going to have to cut this segment and leave you guys with part 2 that'll be uploaded next week. Please leave comments about this topic that we discussed today. Also, remember to like, share, and follow our podcast. You can follow Gemstone Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Pandora Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and Spotify Anchor. We appreciate you guys. Look forward to seeing you guys in part 2.